everybody to our home rehab process and resources workshop. My name is Jessica Knowles from Havenwoods Neighborhood Partnership, and my co-leader for this session, whom I'm going to have him introduce himself later, but that's Lamont Davis, who's waving, from CLD Construction Management. And Take Root Milwaukee, so all of us on this call are members of Take Root Milwaukee, which is a membership consortium in the city of Milwaukee of lenders, real estate professionals, neighborhood groups, and home buyer education specialists, and the city of Milwaukee. We all work together to promote sustainable homeownership in the city of Milwaukee. And as June is National Homeownership Month, we are having this virtual workshop series. We'll see what it is next June, if it's virtual or in person. Sometimes I feel like for all of you who are participating, it's sometimes nice to be in person, but it's also nice to just jump on a virtual meeting from your own home on a Saturday morning. You can still be wearing your pajamas, sipping your coffee. Anyway, we are joining with Milwaukee Public Library, who was a huge partner in promoting our National Homeownership Month virtual workshop series. We have the fix today. We had the purchase workshop last weekend in Spanish and English, and then we will also be posting a foreclosure prevention. So before everybody else introduces themselves, I am going to turn it over to Hermione Bell Henderson from the Milwaukee Public Library, as they are our partner in bringing all these workshops to you.
Thank you, Jessica, and good morning to everyone who's attending the workshop today. Again, so very happy to be here to continue our relationship with Take Root Milwaukee, and to also, just say hello and just welcome you from the Milwaukee Public Library. I'm Hermione Bell Henderson. I'm the coordinator of the Business Technology and Periodicals Department at the Milwaukee Public Library Central Library. The library's mission is inspiration starts here. We help people read, learn, and connect. And this is a wonderful opportunity to, continue to connect with the community and engage people in new ways in the library and with our community partners. So it's my hope that wherever you are in your journey, that you will certainly come out and utilize the resources that we have to offer at the Milwaukee Public Library. Everything is free with the library card, and if you happen to not have one or it has expired, it really just takes a few minutes to get registered or get renewed. We do have a variety of print and online resources to assist you with your home renovation needs, and our librarians are a great resource to connect you with our resources in-house, and to also connect you with community resources. So again, please come out and visit us at any of our 13 locations. We are open. Our branch locations have browsing as of June 7th, and Central Library is open, still a little bit in a limited capacity, but we still have resources that our librarians can pull and you can check out. So once again, thank you for having me, and I hope that all goes well in your journey to home ownership and home renovation. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Hermione. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just so that everybody's video is larger. And first of all, if any of you have not been to the Central Library, you should definitely visit it. Aside from all the tons of books and DVDs and whatnot that they have, the building is phenomenal, and the entrance and lobby is so beautiful. It's definitely a historical building worth seeing. So everybody is going to share who they are and what their role is, where they are from, what organization they're from. And then I'll put the presentation back on. So I'm just going to call people out as I see them on my screen. And so we will start with Allison.
Hello, everyone. My name is Allison, and I am the program expediter at Revitalize Milwaukee.
Great. And Amy?
Right. Good morning. My name is Amy, and I am the Program and Resource Manager at Revitalize Milwaukee. is a program that provides free critical repairs for seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities.
And Lamont.
Hey, good morning. I'm Lamont Davis, and I'm the CEO of KOD Construction Management Services.
And Lamont is my co-leader. Both of us help facilitate work groups with Take Root Milwaukee and on the leadership team there. Okay, and Benjamin.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Benjamin Sanchez with the City of Milwaukee. I work with the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation, and I'll be talking about housing programs that are available to help you fix a home and possibilities of purchasing a home using rehab funds. Welcome.
Thanks so much, Ben. Thanks to everybody. I am going to start sharing my screen again, and we will also have Brenda Brown joining us. Okay, so this is what our day looks like, what our morning looks like for everybody. We are going to get through all of these different things about resources to help repair your home. We are going to have just a couple of really simple polls. That'll be a question that show up on your screen throughout the course of this presentation, but we're going to wait a little bit more to give people time to jump on. Just a couple of housekeeping things. Down at the bottom of your screen, you should see in the bar at the bottom of your screen where it says Q&A. That is a space to type your questions. Once in a while, a question might come up that's super pertinent to the person presenting at the time that I might interrupt it to ask that question or answer it in real time. Otherwise, we will save those questions for the end because we'll have a Q&A time at the end. Also, if you're not sure where to find the Q&A area, you can also put questions in the chat. So without further ado, I am going to invite my colleague, Lamont Davis, who is going to walk everybody through the home buying process.
Hey, good morning. Okay, good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to join the session on a Saturday. As Jessica mentioned, this is a great way to meet everyone virtually. We don't have to hustle and bustle and get out and be disappointed if we didn't miss the meeting. And so I've been enjoying these webinars that we've been having over the last year. It's a great way to reach people and also expand the reach. And one of the good things about it is that we record this information. Take Root Milwaukee has a YouTube channel. We post these videos on YouTube under Take Root Milwaukee. So if you ever want to go back and relive what we talked about, all you have to do is go to our Take Root website or the YouTube channel. Both will have the content available there. So, Jess mentioned that it's home ownership month, but I feel like it's been a home ownership year. Over the last year, we've seen incredible amounts of properties being bought and sold. We've seen a lot of folks wanting to do repairs because they've been stuck in the house. It's been a really exciting time, but there's also been some issues. We had to deal with a lot of rising prices. Wood is very expensive because of the pandemic. So we have that factor to consider. And our contractors are very busy. And so planning a rehab process right now is probably very stressful. We're hoping that we can give you some tips that's going to make it a little bit easier for you. And just to get started, we need a plan. When you're looking to do any kind of rehab project, you want to have a plan of what you want to get done. And what that means is that you really need to think about your project. If you're looking to do a whole house remodel, it's going to take some time to plan everything out, but you should do that. One of the things you want to do first is you want to establish your priorities. What's most important for me to get done? And then you're going to want to consider your budget before you even start doing anything, because that's really going to dictate how you move forward. Any project that you do, there's a potential for cost overruns. So you definitely want to budget a 10 to 20% more than what you actually think you're going to need to get that project done. So as you establish those priorities, then you start to move into, okay, this is what's most important to me, and this is the project that I have in mind. So if we look at flooring, it may look as simple as replacing the surface of the floor, but sometimes that involves a lot of different components. The baseboards on the house or the floor, they may need to be completely replaced, or even if they're still in good condition, you may decide that they don't match your new decor. And so you kind of have to take a top-down approach and say, you know, I'm doing the floor, but I think I want new paint on the walls. I think I need a new baseboard. I think I want a ceramic tile versus the peel and stick tile that I had before. What are your colors that you're gonna want to put down there? And why this is most important is because you don't want to leave it to your contractor. If you tell a contractor, I don't know, I can almost guarantee you he's going to get you the most cheapest, unimaginative product that you know, that's available, not being on purpose, but just because contractors sometimes don't do a good job of picking out finishes. And what they really need help with is they need you to decide what you want and not what they want. So you definitely want to kind of plan out all your components of your project. And then some things, you know, you can do. You know, there's a lot of things that homeowners can do themselves. Flooring may be a bit challenging, but there's a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of websites that are readily available for you to decide if this is a project that you can handle. The things that you don't want to handle is definitely anything that involves health and safety, plumbing, electrical. You want to hire a contractor. If you're disturbing the heating system, you want a contractor. But if there are some things like painting, sometimes drywall, or even just repairs, you may be able to handle it yourself. All in all, if you plan these activities out and really kind of get a big picture of everything that's involved, you can decide if this is a project that can move forward for yourself. Now, let's just say you've done that, and now we're at the point where you don't want to do this. I don't want to spend 8 hours on my hands and knees trying to put down the floor. I don't have the time because I work a busy schedule. So I'm going to hire a contractor and I want it done. One, there's nothing wrong with soliciting multiple bids from contractors. Definitely, we suggest you get at least 3 different detailed bids from contractors. And once you get those bids, things may not be clear. You know, I just talked about, you know, you don't want to bid this using the flooring, for example. You can get a bid from a contractor that says remove, replace floor. And that might be the bid, $1,500. But did he explain to you what type of materials to be used? Is he going to go over the existing floor? Is this going to be a demo? You know, some areas of your house, you want to be overly sure of what's being disturbed, because for a lot of outdated homes who maybe were built in the 50s and 60s, that flooring may have asbestos. It could have lead paint. All of those things are known health hazards, and you could sicken your house and make everyone really sick. So you definitely want to make sure you talk to the contractor about what's going to happen. You checked out their license and insurance if needed, references. I tell people all the time, you definitely should check their references. If you have a contractor who can't tell you at least 1 or 2 people who recommend them, I think that's a red flag. And I think there's something that you definitely want to consider, maybe going with a different contractor. And just finally on this slide, you know, there are certain things that need a permit. Before the session, I'll drop in the chat box a link to the city of Milwaukee, which has a nice guide on what activities actually need a permit when you're doing work on your home. Next slide. One thing that always comes up is how contractors want to get paid. And because they're private individuals, you can't dictate, the terms, but what you can do is understand their terms and come to some agreement of what those terms are. And if you're dealing with a smaller scale contractor, a lot of times they want a down payment. And again, if you've checked the references, if you've done your homework and you've made sure that this is a reputable contractor, you may not have a problem giving a down payment. But if you don't know anything about the guy and you decided that you're going to move forward with him, you definitely want to make sure that if you do give a down payment, it's in a form that you can maybe intercept. Consider using a credit card. Consider paying with a check in case there's a dispute about if he got paid. In your check line, you want to include information. This is for flooring repair, so that it's very clear that this payment was made and it was made to this contractor. Next slide. One thing that I think when you look at that as well is you want to have some idea of completion times. When will the work start and when will it be complete? It all depends. If you're doing a roof, it could be completed in 2 to 5 days. If you're doing a bathroom model, it may take a little bit longer. This is not a hard and fast rule, but if you're spending about $10,000 for every $10,000 you're spending, you're probably going to be looking at about 1 to 2 weeks for that activity to get done. If you're doing a complete remodel, it may be 3 to 6 months on average to get that done. But you want the contractor to kind of estimate what he thinks is the timeline. And even then, I can guarantee you want to add on probably another 20% more time from what the contractor is going to say. For example, a roof may be scheduled today, but if there's rain in the forecast, it could delay the project for a couple times, a couple days, and that timeline goes out the window. So there are a lot of different factors about why a project could be delayed, and you need to be flexible. But at the same time, you have to understand that you want a contractor who has a good idea of how he's going to move through your project. The best defense against all of this is definitely you want to have some type of signed agreement with a contractor. Keep a file. It could be as simple as the first conversation, what he told you, some notes that you're making on a piece of paper that starts off that file. And then it could go on into his first estimate, followed by his invoices. Lien waivers are a useful tool, and you should be looking to get a lien waiver. Wisconsin law dictates that if a contractor feels that he hasn't been paid or there is a dispute, he will put a lien on your house and says, hey, this house can't sell because they owe me money. And that's so arbitrary that any work that gets done, you want what's called a lien waiver, which basically says for the work that was done at my house, and you can be as detailed on the lien waiver as you want. You can put in the activity of work that was done, dollar amount that was spent, and then you have that contractor give you that lien waiver. And it's similar to getting a receipt, but it's a little more detailed, and it's going to hold up in court a little bit better than just receipts, because receipts are kind of sketchy if it's not in the detailed manner of describing what work was done, where it was done by who, how much was spent, and you don't always capture all of that on a receipt. So keep your signed agreements, get you a project file, get those copies of receipts of payments that were made, get your lien waivers, and you'll have a nice defense if this winds up in court. Another thing you want to consider is you definitely want to take pictures. Nothing wrong with, before the contractor even gets started, walking through and doing a video of the work area. Maybe you follow up with close-up pictures of the area that's being repaired. A picture's worth 1,000 words. And I think also it helps you, because we're humans, right? We forget where things were. You may forget which side of the wall that the light switch was on, and now all of a sudden your project is done and the light switch is flipped on the other side of the wall, and maybe that's a convenience issue that you wanted to avoid. So taking pictures of the work area is going to help you, and also help the contractor ensure that they did the project in the right manner. One of the most difficult things is planning out contractors and planning out how the work is going to flow. And I definitely tell you, contractors are very good at demo. That's one of the things that they do well. They know how to tear up your house, but putting it back together in a logical manner sometimes escapes contractors. It depends on where we are in the project and what type of project you're looking to do. A lot of times I'll work from the exterior inside, mainly because we're in Wisconsin, right? We have weather issues. We get cold really quick. And so sometimes you want to plan out your exterior activities, which are weather dependent, and you want to get those done first. And then you want to do your demo, get all the bad stuff out. You likely want to come back with your mechanicals or things that are like framing, your electrical, your plumbing, those kind of trade services. You want to get those in after you've demoed everything, bring those groups back in. Then you want to come in with your framing, your rough carpentry, your drywall, and get those structures back in place. After that, you can follow up with painting. You'll probably move into some of your fixtures, your cabinets, getting those on the wall. Doors and windows are probably going to go in. And then you're probably going to do a really good cleaning of your house, because at this point you're going to have dust, debris, all kind of things all over, including in your air vents. One of the things I strongly suggest, if you're doing painting, you want to do that before you put your flooring in. Flooring may be one of the last few things to get done, with the exceptions of the trim and your very detailed finish work, your carpentry and other things like that. And even outside, you kind of want to have that same focus, where maybe you've done some of the structural stuff, and then maybe you're coming back at the end to do your siding or your painting. So there's no hard, fast way to move it forward. But I think these steps make logical sense. And even if you're not the one who's going to decide these steps, you definitely want to communicate with your contractor. And that's probably the most critical piece, is having regular communication. Don't be afraid to ask the contractor for clarification, because that's his job. You're hiring him for, is to be the expert. If you feel any kind of uneasiness, make sure it's known before things get too far along. And I think you would have a good chance of having a successful project. So that's this part of the process is done in this conversation, but definitely looking forward to questions and answers, and we'll be answering questions at the end of the session. If you drop them in the chat, we can kind of answer those as we go. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jess, who's going to let the rest of my panelists get started and talk about some of the great resources that we have in lieu of you hiring a contractor. There may be some free grants out there to help you with that work. Thank you all.
Thanks, Lamont, so much for taking us through that process. Now I am going to invite Benjamin Sanchez to he will turn his video on and unmute himself, and he is going to present on the various programs from the city. I know as a neighborhood group, I am regularly referring many of our residents to a lot of the great programs that the city offers. Okay, Ben.
Thank you, Jessica. Lamont did an amazing presentation on what's all involved in doing a rehabilitation of your home. There are some differences when working with the city of Milwaukee. So I will explain some of our programs and how our programs work and the differences that exist when you are involving the city of Milwaukee. So my name again is Benjamin Sanchez. I'm a housing program specialist with the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation. There are several website links that you see here as this presentation becomes available on YouTube. These are website links that will be live where you can click on them and they will take you directly to the website. So the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation is a department within the Department of City Development. So we work and help with funds that are available on a federal level, on a city level, and we work with some private funds as well. We work with small projects, we work with large projects and very large projects. So it depends on the type of transaction that you are doing. In this case, my main focus is on programs that are available for individuals that own a home. I will briefly talk about programs that are available for individuals that are trying to purchase a home as well. We work also with homeowners, home buyers, responsible investor owners. The Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation has about, I'd say between 12 and 15 programs that we administer. They're all different. Some of them are limited on the type of neighborhood that you live in. And by that, I mean that we have targeted investment neighborhoods. Some of them are citywide. So it depends on the program that you're looking to access and participate in. The Strong Homes Loan Program is a program that is a citywide program. It is predominantly designed for emergency and essential repairs. There are a couple things you should know if you're planning on applying to this program. It is a program that we do look at your credit. We do pull a credit report. We do look at Milwaukee County and city records in terms of open judgments. We do look at your payment history over a period of time. And the loan is up to a maximum of $20,000. 25% has a potential of being forgivable as long as you live in the home for 10 years after the work has been completed. And then out of the 25%, there is no interest, there's no payment on that portion. On the 75%, we do offer different varieties of payment options. If you're elderly or disabled and you have a very low income, we may offer what we call a deferred payment loan, which means that there's not a monthly payment and there is no interest on the loan. There is a lien, however, against the property. With these loans, there are 2 liens. And then with the loans, what we do is if you're in a deferred payment plan, you don't have to make a monthly payment, but if you wanted to, you could. And if you're over the age, below the age of 62 or not disabled, and you are still low income, we still offer the loan at a 0% loan, but we would have a payback portion. If your income is a little bit higher, we do go up to the 120% area median income. We do qualify individuals for a loan. And in those cases where your income's a little bit higher, the interest rate is at 3%. The Strong Homes Loan Repair, I can tell you that the majority of the repairs that we tend to see, it doesn't mean that it's limited to this, but the majority of the repairs that we tend to see are major roof leaks, electrical problems, a sewer lateral that has collapsed or has damaged. If you're having problems with heating, if you're having problems with hot water heaters, if you're having problems with structural repairs, like your porch is failing. In addition, if you're having issues with windows, but we don't do window replacements. Our program is mainly designed to help repair windows that are broken. The program is a program that has been in place since 2014, and it was actually implemented under the Strong Neighborhoods Plan to help alleviate all of these particular issues that are happening within the city of Milwaukee. This is our main website here. These are some of the program requirements for the Strong Homes Loan Program. And on the next slide, please. I'm going to shift into targeted investment neighborhoods. We also offer programs that are available through targeted investment neighborhoods. And those programs are a little bit different. They offer 50% in the form of a forgivable loan and 50% in the form of a 0% payback loan. And again, if you're elderly or disabled, we do offer also the deferred payment loan option if your income is low. Those programs are programs that are administered by different agencies throughout the city of Milwaukee. If we can move on to the next program, please. And we also work with responsible investor owners. We work with the rental rehabilitation loan program. This loan program is available for individuals that own properties in targeted investment neighborhoods. And if you see in the little red highlighted section, this 2020 rental rehabilitation program expansion, we do also offer this program for investors that are trying to purchase city-owned tax foreclosures throughout the city of Milwaukee. It is a match dollar for dollar program. So let's say you have a duplex that has 2 bedrooms in each unit. As an investor, you do need to match up to $14,999, and we will invest $14,999. The work may be higher than that dollar amount, but the most that we can help is up to $14,999 per unit. So if it's a duplex, the most that we would potentially be able to help you with is up to $29,998. That means that as a responsible investor, you would also need to provide up to $29,998. These programs do require that the investor rent to individuals that are low to moderate households, and that the limits of the rental amount that's charged is capped at a certain period of time. Typically, it's capped for a period of 5 years. And we do monitor on a regular basis the rental contracts and the tenants that live in the property to make sure that they're income eligible. If we can move on to the next slide, please. I'm going to talk about this one a little bit, but let me explain about those other programs. Lamont was talking about the fact that as you work with contractors, you're going to be hiring them and working with them and researching them and making sure that you do a couple steps to make sure you're protecting yourself. One advantage of working with the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation is that we have a staff of about 5 different rehab specialists that help you through the process of developing the scope of work. They help you with the bidding process in terms of making it publicly available for contractors to provide you bids. We also do a background search on the contractors to make sure that they're licensed, that they're insured, that they don't have any major issues that prevent them from doing the work. And we don't pay any contractors for any work that has not been performed. We only pay for work that has been performed and that you're satisfied with. So what's the advantage of working with Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation? That's a major advantage there. Having someone that's actually looking out for you throughout the process. In addition to those programs that I talked about that are mainly for homeowners and potential investors that are looking to purchase, or investors that own homes within targeted neighborhoods, we do also offer the Home Buyer Assistance Program, and that assistance offers up to $20,000 to help fix city-owned tax foreclosures. And that assistance is for rehabilitation only. It is a match dollar for dollar program as well. You do need to be fully enrolled in the program and fully approved for the program before we would actually approve, before you can actually purchase the home. If you purchase the home and apply to this program in particular after you have purchased the program, we will not be able to assist you, unfortunately. This again is a program offered under the Strong Neighborhoods Plan, and that was implemented around 2014. Again, these are some basic programs. We do offer a variety of additional small grant programs. We offer neighborhood improvement programs. We do also offer match dollar for dollar programs. And we're in the near future of providing a down payment and closing cost assistance that's going to be launched as of Tuesday of this upcoming week, where it can offer up to between $5,000 and $7,000 for down payment and closing costs. If you're interested in learning more about that, you're probably going to hear that in the news on Tuesday if you follow any of the news channels. That's again the Home Buyer Assistance Down Payment Program. So that's coming up very soon. If you have any further questions, definitely reach us. And I'm going to provide you that number on the next slide. Our number is 414-286-5610. If you prefer to communicate via email, you can reach us at nidc@milwaukee.gov. Again, these links that are listed below are going to be live once this presentation is available on YouTube. And you can just click on these links and it'll take you directly to our website. We do hope that we can help you in the near future. If you have any questions, do not hesitate in contacting us. We greatly appreciate your time on this Saturday, and may you have a great rest of the day.
Okay, everybody. Thank you, Ben, so much. And everybody be sure to put any questions in the Q&A and chat, because we will get to those at the end. So we are going to do a little poll here. And there's just 2 questions. So if everybody could answer this question, we'll give you a little bit of time here. Which best describes your reason for attending this webinar? Either you currently own your own home and you're looking for resources to fix it up, or you either are a renter right now and you're thinking about buying a fixer-upper, or maybe you do own your home, but you're thinking about moving or buying an investment property as a fixer-upper. We'll just give everybody a little bit of time here to answer that question. And then after we have this poll, Lamont is actually going to be talking to us a little bit again, because there's another city program called the Neighborhood Improvement Project. And Lamont has worked with that project significantly. And so he will be coming back with us in a second. I'm just going to give us a few more seconds here. Okay, so these are our results, and this is great. We have a good amount of people that are just looking to purchase a fixer-upper. Again, I want to reiterate what Benjamin shared. If you're looking for a city-owned tax foreclosure, then that you can use as a fixer-upper, and you want to use that program, you do need to be enrolled in the program before you purchase the property. And there's also a lot of other programs out there with WIDA and some of our lender partners that have home rehab purchase loans. So be sure to check out Take Root Milwaukee or call the hotline so that you can be connected with those good resources for purchasing. We are going to continue with information about resources, especially for folks who own their home currently, to give them resources to help fix them up. And for those of you who are looking to buy a fixer-upper, a lot of these resources you can use after then that you purchase the home. So they're very eligible for you as well. There's a few programs where you have to have lived in the property for a little bit before you utilize them. Okay, Lamont, go ahead.
So one of the neighborhood components to working with you is done through what's called the Neighborhood Improvement Project. And so neighborhood improvement projects, or NIPs, they can assist only eligible owner occupants in helping them with their home, repairing it. And mainly they're focused on code-based repairs, which means a good rule is if you have things that are broken and need to be fixed, it's likely that the NIP could help you. But if you're looking to do a remodeling project where you're just looking to upgrade your flooring, do some of those wish list items that we've developed under the pandemic, the NIP is not going to be the program to work with you. But if you do have lead paint hazards, you've had an old, outdated heating system, plumbing, electrical, a lot of times the NIP will come in and take care of those things. And on average, they spend about $25,000 up to about $30,000 on your home. So that's a significant chunk if that's going to help you. Now, one big thing that is you only can use it once. If you've used it, even if it was in, say, 1992, because of federal HUD guidelines, you're going to be precluded from using it again in your lifetime. So it's a once in a lifetime kind of project. And it's really just going to focus on these repairs that are critical to you having your maintaining your health and safety. So how do I know if I'm even eligible? The biggest one is that you have to be an owner occupant of a single family or a duplex. It can't be a family owned property. My mom owned it, but I live in it. My dad, is going to sell it to me down the road. It's under a land contract and I'm buying it. Those things will not make you eligible for the NIP. Now, because of our coming out of the 2000s, we had a really bad recession, mainly fueled by the housing crisis. And what the NIP saw, and a lot of city programs saw, is that people would go through a city-owned program and then flip the house. And so one of the ways that this was combated, which is not popular, but I just like to give a little history, is that the city decided that we're going to make sure you've owned it at least for 5 years. Because you think about it, the city's going to put $30,000, $40,000 into your home, and you're going to turn around in the next year and sell it. That's not a good outcome for the city of Milwaukee. And so, one, you need to have owned and occupied the property for 5 years before, and then you need to own and occupy it for 5 years after the work is done. 10 years of continual occupancy sounds like a long time, but really it's just a blink in the home ownership space. Your income has to be low enough that you're a priority for HUD, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, to give you the grant. And for this won't mean much to most of us, 60% of county median income. So for a family of four, that's somewhere around $47,000, $50,000 a year for a family of four. And that's gross income. And it does take into account all sources of income. So if you are in a duplex and you're working, and then you're also receiving rental income from the lower duplex or the upper duplex, that's all going to roll up into your income. That's going to count against your income. The city of Milwaukee has designated what's called the neighborhood strategic planning areas. They've been around for probably about 30 years now, and there is a map available. But for the most part, it's areas of the city of Milwaukee where at least 50% of the people who live in that area are considered below the poverty line. So there's no, the border on the west is kind of rough and jagged. 60th Street, 51st Street on the west, and it just kind of goes up. And then usually on the east side, you're going to see the Milwaukee River kind of being the border. But there's areas, I don't want to fumble and say you're not in there. The important thing is that once you apply for an agency, they'll tell you if you're in the area or not by using the map and talking with you about that. Now, you do have to be current on all of your expenses related to the property. You can't be delinquent on city property taxes. We want to make sure that we're setting you up that you're going to maintain the home and stay in the home. You can't be delinquent on your mortgage. Have to be current on your utilities. Now, that doesn't mean you need to have a zero balance. It just means that you have to be on an approved payment plan or have a zero balance on those items. So a lot of folks, they would rush out and try to pay off all their bills down to zero. No, we don't mean that you have to have a zero balance, but you have to be current on your bills. And you also have to have homeowners insurance. And for anyone who's out here and they don't have homeowners insurance, the state of Wisconsin has an excellent product called the Wisconsin Insurance Plan. If you've been denied insurance because of violations, because of repairs that you needed, your your insurance agent typically can be the same agent that you buy your auto insurance or your home insurance from. They can apply for the Wisconsin insurance plan. The application fee is about $120. The premium for the year is about $500. And that's a good way to just kind of make sure you have a minimum protection. They don't insure your home up to the appraised value. They kind of insure it only on the assessed value, which is a lot different. You may live in a neighborhood that says your house is worth $35,000, but if you were to have a loss of that house and you wanted to replace it in the city of Milwaukee, that could cost you several $100,000. So this is a very temporary type of insurance, but it's better than having no insurance at all. Again, you cannot have received NIP prior, before, you'll just be denied, but there are other programs that can help you if you can't qualify for NIP. So I talked a little bit about the cost cap. It's roughly $24,500, but when you're dealing with these big older duplexes, the city will give you a little leeway, and you may see that price for the services that they're going to give you may tweak up a little bit between 30 and 40,000. Mainly the goal is that when you're working with NIP, you're going to apply through an agency, which you may be familiar with, and there's about 6 or 7 NIP agencies. After you get through the application process, a building inspector is going to be referred to your property. The building inspector is not there to write you up for code violations, but he is there to use his expertise and his critical eye to identify things that would be considered code violations. And then he would turn around and write a scope of work that says these are the things that are going to get done. So this is a little different. You don't get to pick and choose what kind of repairs. The building inspector is going to pick and choose what gets done. And he's going to be there to work with the agency that you started with to make sure that the work is proceeding in a workmanlike manner, that the contractor is kind of keeping pace, doing this in a timely manner. This is one of those situations where you're going to see probably a 3 to 6 month timeline of the work being done, depending on when it starts. If your project starts in November, there's a good chance that you're going to be weather delayed because of the winter, and you may not see things complete into the springtime. And, you know, there's a lot of factors that go into that of why things just don't flow out the door. But you always have to consider that weather is going to be an issue. There could be some additional guidelines that would prevent you. I mentioned a few of them, like you can't be on this land contract. All those things are important, but the goal of the NIP program is to help you maintain your tenure in your home. One thing as I close up is I'll just say, if you know of anyone who is struggling to make repairs, Take Root is here for you. The city of Milwaukee is here for you. Housing counseling agencies are here for you. Reach out to one of those people that you trust about your house. Let them know what kind of issues, and I'm sure they're going to come up with 1,000 resources for you. And I only say that because I know there's a lot of predatory investor owners who are out here calling you, telling you, don't worry about fixing anything. We'll buy that home from you. We'll get you out of this situation that you're in, and you'll have cash in your pocket. If you want to save your home and you want to live in your home, please reach out to one of our many, many partners that Take Root has, the partners that's on the call, and we'll do our best to make sure that you're getting the housing resources that you need, the financial counseling that you need, and any other thing that you need to kind of stay in your home. Thank you.
Thanks, Lamont, so much. And please, everybody, if you have friends or family who are tempted to sell their house to some random person that sent them a postcard or put a sign up, those are often predatory and they don't have your best or your family's best interest in mind. So talk to Take Root. You also won't get what your house is worth. A couple of things. So we do not have housing resources with us here on this webinar, but a couple of things I want to point out of housing resources. So housing resources, They were on our webinar last weekend. They do home buyer education. They're a great organization that does that. They also have a minor home repair program where they have grant money for helping to maintain your home. And again, we will also send you the PowerPoint of this presentation, possibly even before the video is posted. So you'll also have all of this contact information there. But Tracy Polk, if you're in Milwaukee, Sam Overton, if you're in Waukesha, this is the contact information for the minor home repair program. It's intended to provide home repair grants to assist low and moderate income homeowners who experience financial distress and deferred maintenance on their residential single or 2-unit owner occupied properties. And this is Milwaukee, Ozaukee, Washington, and Waukesha counties, but you have to be the homeowner occupant. I'm not going to go over all of this, but you can get a rebate. So it's 50% of the expenses of your home rehab, and you will get reimbursed $3,000 for this program. So look into that program. It's a great possibility for extra dollars for exterior and critical repairs. And then also with Housing Resources, they have a tool loan program. So an annual membership fee is only $25, $20 for a senior. And with that, you get to borrow all of these things listed on this worksheet. So hand tools for the interior and exterior of your home, power tools, saws, circular saw, jigsaws, electric planers, all of these things that maybe you have one big project that you're going to do for your own sweat equity on your house, and you don't want to go and purchase this just for one project. So this is a great place to borrow these tools so you don't have to purchase them. Also HEPA vacuums. I know Lamont talked about lead. So that is a great resource to look into. So that's also Tracy Polk, and his contact information is there to get enrolled in the tool loan program. So definitely think about that. Okay, I am going to invite Revitalize Milwaukee. So Allison and Amy are going to share with us, and I will mute myself again, and they're going to tell us about the excellent possibilities that Revitalize has for you, or maybe for a loved one, because they also reach beyond the city of Milwaukee.
Okay, hi. My name is Allison again. I'm the program expediter at Revitalize Milwaukee. We are a private nonprofit in the city of Milwaukee. We aren't with the city, we are private. You can click to the next slide, please. Thank you. So our mission is to transform communities by providing low-income veterans, seniors, and people with disabilities with free critical home repairs and comprehensive services. So unlike the programs that they were just talking about, ours, if you fall within our income guidelines, would be completely free to the homeowner, no loan or payback for our services. You can go to the next slide.
Okay, so there's a few different programs that we have. Our first one is critical repairs. Just run through and then I'll kind of explain. So critical repairs, emergency repairs, accessibility modifications. We have a block build event, offer comprehensive services, and a chore services program. So critical repairs and emergency repairs are pretty much the same thing. So if you have an active leak, if your water heater goes out, if there's a gas leak, some sort of emergency situation. So if you don't have a functioning toilet, you don't have hot water, you don't have like electricity, anything like that, give us a call and we'll process that. Usually the turnover, you have to apply and fill out our application before we can do any of the work. But once you are approved and you're eligible, the turnaround is anywhere between like 24 to 48 hours for those critical and emergency repairs. We also offer accessibility modifications. So if you need help with handrails or grab bars, getting around your house, anything like that. We do assessments. We have OT partners as well that'll come and do a home assessment with you to figure out what works for you, what doesn't, and make those modifications. Every year, we also have our annual block build event. So each year for the last 21 years, we've picked a neighborhood in Milwaukee, and we will choose 20 to 30 homes on a series of blocks in the neighborhood. And in 2 days, we'll get partners and contractors and corporate sponsors together to complete a series of repairs. So plumbing, electrical, carpentry repairs, accessibility modifications, curb appeal projects, landscaping, a whole bunch of different things really for that event. And then our comprehensive services is basically just what Allison had mentioned earlier. So if you call and there's something that we can't do, even if you're on our program already, if there's a larger project that we don't address, or if you just call our office and you're looking for different types of resources to do with housing or anything, so like transportation, food access, things like that, we will connect you with the resources that you need. And then we also have a chore services program. So our chore services program is just in the summertime and in the spring, we will cut lawns for people who aren't able to do it anymore or who need help. And we also shovel the snow in the wintertime. And this is just like what goes along with our mission, which is to let people stay in their homes safely and age in place. Next.
Okay, so just to go through our program requirements, we only work in owner-occupied homes in the Milwaukee and Waukesha counties, and you have to have owned that home and lived in it for the last 5 years, and also plan to stay in it. We don't want to do repairs for you to turn around and sell the home. Sorry, I'm just getting a call, decline that. Oh my gosh, sorry. So yeah, you have to own your home for the last 5 years and not be planning to sell it, because our mission is to help keep you in your home and allow you to age in place. And the home cannot be held in a trust or a life estate. You have to be current on your property taxes or on a payment plan. And then you cannot have an open foreclosure or bankruptcy. So our application process requires you to turn in income verification. So we'll need a few months of bank statements for every adult in the household, income statements. So whether that be like a Social Security award letter or a pay stub for every adult in the household, and then a mortgage statement if you're still paying a mortgage, and your most recent tax return if you still file. So that gives us an idea of your income. And then to receive free services, you have to be below 50% of the median income. So for a household of one, if you make less than $28,850 a year, you would qualify for a free services. And that's about $32,950 for a household of two. If you come in a little bit above those income limits, we do also offer a partial pay program, which operates on a sliding scale fee. So the percentage over the income limit you are is the percentage you owe. We often see about people coming in about 40% over, so they would be responsible for 40% of the repair costs, and we would cover the other 60%. And then, like I mentioned earlier, this is for low income homeowners who are 60 years of age or older, or disabled, or a veteran or family of a veteran.
So I kind of went through this a little bit before, talking about the types of programs that we have and services we offer, but a lot of the time, the majority of the repairs that we address are carpentry. So things like porch repairs, stairs, doors, handrails, electrical repairs. So we don't do like entire electrical upgrades. but usually like if there's outlets, lights, fans, things like that, or if it's hazardous, if it's an emergency and it's hazardous, we will address that. We also do a lot of plumbing work. So water heaters is a huge thing. And usually we can get those done, like I mentioned, 24 or 48 hours. It's a quick turnaround for that. Toilets, active leaks, so anything, sinks, pipes, all sorts of stuff. We also help address code violations. So we work with city inspectors to get those addressed, or if they want to go through a city program, the compliance loan program, to get those code violations addressed, but they're over what they can offer in terms of like a loan. We'll work with them to try to get the scope of work down so that they can still become eligible for that loan program. Like I mentioned before, we also do accessibility modifications. Grab bars is a huge thing. Additional handrails, stabilizing porches, things like that. And if we have volunteers or other people willing to help us, we do have a pretty rigorous volunteer program to help us with lawn services, snow shoveling, and then painting, or if there's other additional things that you need help with, we try to work with you on that. The major things that we do not address, we don't do roof replacements, we don't do window replacements, we don't do foundational work or address furnaces or air conditioners.
And like Lamont had said, we are focused on critical repairs that keep you in your home. So not cosmetic upgrades or any type of rehab just to upgrade your home. These are all critical repairs to keep you safe and healthy in your own home. And then here's just an example of a critical repair that we recently addressed. So this is Vernita. She's a City of Milwaukee resident, and her porch was rotting and she ended up falling through it and breaking her foot one day. So we sent one of our carpenters out and he built her a new porch so that she can safely get in and out of her house and not have to worry about getting hurt again. And then, I don't know, is Amy frozen? If you want to get in touch with us or learn more, you can visit our website at freehomerepairs.org. And then you can also reach us by phone. Our office number is here, 414-312-7531, or you can shoot us an email. Amy's email is on the screen.
Thanks, Allison and Amy, so much. And also in the chat, there is the date for the large block build that's happening. And also in the chat are links to the DNS programs and the free home repairs. And though some people have not been able to, Lamont, thank you for putting all of that information in the chat. I will also try to save the chat and send that to everybody actually with the PowerPoint. So, you know, Amy and Allison talked about how they don't do roofs and windows. If you are a senior or a veteran or somebody with a disability that has an income that qualifies, or if you know somebody, maybe you don't, but maybe you know somebody like a parent or a grandparent that could qualify for that program, they could apply for Revitalize Milwaukee. And let's say a roof is one of the things that needs to happen. Revitalize Milwaukee will help with all of the other stuff. And then they can also link you to sources, for example, with the city that could address that roof. So they could get these free home repairs on the critical repairs that Revitalize Milwaukee does. And then they might be able to tap into a city program to get the roof, even if it's a very little by little, for example, with the strong home loans, no interest or deferred payment, little by little. So they work together a lot, Revitalize Milwaukee with the city. Okay, we are going to take one more short poll before we move on to Brenda Brown of Great Midwest Bank. So let me just start this poll here. 1 second. So this is how you heard about this workshop. I put in more choices this time than last time. So please look through and let us know how you heard about this. This really helps us for promoting important resources to folks in the city of Milwaukee and the surrounding area. So did you hear about this workshop or any of these workshops through a radio ad, through the Take Root Milwaukee Facebook page, through the Take Root Milwaukee Twitter, on the Take Root Milwaukee website that you happen to be looking at, or because our promoting partner through the Milwaukee Public Library Facebook, or a big email that was sent out by Milwaukee Public Library, the Milwaukee Public Library website, or of course by word of mouth. And if it allows you to pick two, feel free. If there are two different ways that you heard about it, like maybe you heard about it on one thing and then you heard about it from one other venue and that made it, solidified it, feel free to click on both. So we'll just wait a few seconds for everybody to vote on how you heard about this workshop. And then while people are finishing answering that poll, I'm going to introduce Brenda Brown. Brenda Brown is from Great Midwest Savings Bank. And what's great about, so some of these programs folks might not qualify for because they're a little bit over income. But I do want to point out the Strong Homes Loan, I feel like from what I understand is the highest, you can have the highest income to qualify for that program. However, there are also great home rehab lender products that is a loan that you do pay back with a very low interest. But that's a great way if you need to get a big home project done, but you need to pay it little over time. So I am going to invite Brenda to start her video, and then I will end the poll in just a couple seconds. Okay, and just to share with our results with everybody. Wow. So the biggest one of this was Take Root Milwaukee Facebook page. Thank you everybody for sharing, and then follow up by a Milwaukee Public Library email. So thank you for sharing how you heard about it. And Brenda, so good to have you with us. I will hand it over to you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Brenda Brown. I am with Great Midwest Bank. I am the CRA loan officer and the assistant branch manager at Great Midwest Bank. I am at the corner of Port Washington Road and Brown Deer. And I come to you today. First of all, I want to congratulate you of all the attendees that are already homeowners, which is one of the greatest accomplishments I feel like a person could achieve, is to own their own home. And I've been in banking and lending and mortgages for over 25 years. I am a City of Milwaukee resident, have been here for a long time, very active in my community. I am the chairperson also of the Johnson Park Neighborhood Association, and I do live in the Johnson Park neighborhood. So one of the great things about Great Midwest Bank, and I've been there almost 3 years, my job as the CRA loan officer is to represent Great Midwest Bank in the community, making sure that the bank is investing back into our community, specifically trying to help low to moderate income people, as well as people who may need a loan, but their income is higher than the HUD guidelines. So presently, Great Midwest Bank, we have a home improvement special. Let me go back. First of all, Great Midwest Bank has been in existence for over 85 years. It's a family-run business by the Doyle family. We have about 15 experienced loan officers. So we have 5 different branch locations. We are able to provide fast and dependable pre-approvals if you need to be pre-approved to purchase a home. We do internal and local underwriting, which means when I have a file and I submit it to our underwriting department, the Doyle family and Great Midwest Bank will look at different things and try to do everything they can to approve a person for a loan, not deny a person for a loan. So we look at things like your credit. Have you had a bankruptcy? Even over the past year, unfortunately, we've all experienced the COVID-19 epidemic and how it's affected our lives and our families and our jobs and our incomes. So even with that being said, this is June of 2021. People are getting back to work. So say for instance, your income has dropped over the last year. What Great Midwest Bank will do is we will go back over the last 60 to 90 days. If you're back to work, you know, your income is getting back stabilized, then that's how we look at the picture, because life has happened to everybody, especially in the COVID-19 experience. We also have local mortgage servicing. If we do an internal loan, we service our own loans here. Your loan is not in California somewhere or in a whole nother state. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about working at Great Midwest Bank. Next slide. This is our home improvement loan. Recently, the bank has invested, I want to say 15 new billboards throughout the city of Milwaukee. So as you're driving through the city, you might see this particular billboard. My colleague, Jennifer Lamb. Jennifer is bilingual and she is the CRA loan officer at our Greenfield office over on the south side. So she has about 8 billboards for the home improvement loan, and I have 7. So both of us, the bank asked us what neighborhoods in our communities did we want to do the billboards. So I picked specific streets and neighborhoods for my ads, and Jennifer did the same thing. So my ads just started this month because June is homeownership month. So you will see the billboards throughout the city. If you or someone you know needs to do home improvements and they don't, well, they probably wouldn't share with you if they would qualify for the city programs. But if for some reason they don't qualify, then we're offering the 1.99% home improvement loan. It's fixed rate for 5 years. There are no closing costs. One of the great things about this is you can use up to $20,000 to do whatever type of repairs you need to do. It doesn't say specifically what type of repairs you can do. There are income limitations, no more 80% of county median income. The loan to value is only at 70% if there is no appraisal. We have to use licensed contractors, and I will have to have 2 bids from licensed contractors, and I will verify if they have a certificate of insurance. The maximum loan amount is $20,000. Next slide. If you have any additional questions for me, this is my contact information. You will notice also my mobile phone number is on here as well. When I leave the bank, and I'm usually at the bank from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, I do forward all my calls to my cell phone, so I will be available. Thank you.
And I just want to reiterate, you guys, something that Brenda said, and Brenda, just to make sure I'm correct on this. So one thing Brenda was pointing out is that you can do anything you want in that 20,000. So like, if I wanted to rehab my kitchen and get new cabinets, I could use that rehab loan for that.
Yes.
So even if you want to do an aesthetic repair, like redo the bathroom, which might not be a critical repair. I mean, some things about the bathroom are a critical repair that would fall under the city home loans and the forgivable loans, and also Revitalize Milwaukee. But if it's something, let's say you want to do something totally just updating in the interior of your house, you could use this for. And Lamont noted in the chat that this is one of the only, I think, two, CIBC is another bank that does have a home loan program. Great Midwest Savings is one of the only main banks in the city that has this low rehab loan offer, which is fabulous.
Yeah, and based on the example that you just gave with the bathroom scenario, you're still improving the bathroom.
Yep.
Is the bottom line.
Yep. You're still improving the bathroom, and you're improving the value of your house.
Exactly.
So everybody be sure to put questions in the chat or in the Q&A. We will be wrapping up here shortly. I just want to point out a few things before we go to the question and answer session. So we do not have Milwaukee Habitat for Humanity with us, but that is another group that provides critical home repair, safe, decent, and affordable homes. So they have up to $15,000 project limit for home repairs. It's a 0% interest loan, and repayment terms are based on income. So you have payments that will last up to 60 months. And then there's a special veteran program where you get 50% off the total. The types of critical repairs: porch repair, exterior door repair, roof, gutter, chimney repair, window repair, code violations, plumbing, foundation repair. So here's a program where you could tap into potentially with the roof, the windows, and the foundation. These to give you an idea of what the income limits are. So you have to be 80% or below median income, and how much you pay. So whether you pay 20% of the total project cost up to 100% of the total project cost, all of that is paying back. So it's like a zero interest loan. But if you are in the 0 to 29% of median income, you are just going to pay ultimately 20%. Habitat for Humanity will go through that with you. This is their project area, though. You have to live between Holton and 60th and between Highland Boulevard and Capitol Drive. That is the service area of Habitat for Humanity. I'm not going to go through these program requirements right now just for the sake of time, but there's similar requirements as some of our other programs that we talked about. But definitely contact Habitat for Humanity, Ayana Grow. She's a homeowner support coordinator, and there is her email and phone number, plus the websites. You could go to MilwaukeeHabitat.org and look into their critical repair program. Finally, there are a few other places that you can find home repair resources. So a lot of different neighborhoods have neighborhood improvement districts. So our neighborhood, Havenwoods Neighborhood Partnership, we have a NID, it's NID number 9. You can go to this website, and I'm going to quickly, well, I'm going to show you the website in 1 second, but a lot of these neighborhood improvement districts, if you live in a certain area, they have reimbursable grants for home rehab projects, where some of them you do the work on a certain home rehab project depending on the NID, and then you get reimbursed. So for example, Havenwoods, which is the neighborhood I'm part of, we have a door program where our residents can get up to $1,000 reimbursement for improving their exterior doors, including garage doors, a lighting grant of $200. We provide $200 for Ring camera installation. And then now we have a $1,500 porch railing, fence, and walkway grant. So if you're doing any work on your porch or your railing, you get that money back. Harambe and Washington Park Partners, they have general home rehab grants. Harambe started with doing roofs, and they repaired several roofs in Harambe, but they have general home rehab grants where folks can apply, you do the work, and then the qualifying work, you can apply for a rehab grant. I'm going to show you just a couple pictures of that, and then if I can get to the next slide, which for some reason is not letting me go. There we go. So this is a roof that's being redone in a Harambe. This down here is a garage door, a new garage door that these funds were utilized for, as well as a new porch. And let's see here. Yes, Sherman Park does have a rehab program. That question is in the chat. Also in the chat, Brenda pointed out if a homeowner lives in a low to moderate zip code census tract, that's how they can verify that the improvements help the Community Reinvestment Act. So even if you're not low income, sometimes if you're in a low income tract, you can benefit from that. Lamont, do you want to share anything regarding some of the NID programs?
Yeah, one good thing about NID, sorry about the echo. NIDs have come about, and what they've been able to do is they've been able to kind of change how we deliver services. And so really the way NIDs are made is you're going to, your property is going to be assessed in your geographic boundary. And so there's a map that you can see on the screen. The map kind of defines who lives within that NID. And so every parcel is assessed a minimum amount, $50 or $100, depending on your property tax, property type, sorry. And the commercial units in that area may also be assessed. That money is going to roll up into a pool of funds that you can use, the NID can use to do repairs. So in the Washington Park area, we're able to provide up to $7,500 for a repair that, and the key word is repair. Generally, it's going to be things that are broken and need to be fixed. Every group has a different kind of ceiling on that. Harambe, with their roof program, would do roofs and gutters up to $15,000. They pivoted a little bit, but they're still doing roofs as well. And a lot of these NIDs are just popping up all over the place. Brenda is a part of a NID effort that's being developed in the neighborhood that she lives in. A lot of us have seen NIDs kind of come as a welcome way to get your home fixed without the bureaucracy that you have sometimes with the city programs. So in a lot of cases, I would say the NID doesn't have an income limit that may preclude a lot of people from getting into a program. The NIDs also will work with contractors to identify good contractors. But one thing that the NIDs do a great job of is they give you choice of who you're going to use to provide your services. And then sometimes that's very favorable to you because you can get a, they do a good job of helping you understand the rehab process as well, because you'll be working directly with your contractor to kind of identify what you want to get done. And you just become much better as a consumer. But if anyone has any questions about the NIDs, you know, there's a nice web link, and we're also available to answer questions on this call. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about the NIDs. They're just a great tool for neighborhoods. And that's a lot of NIDs coming about.
Yeah, so you guys can see, so this is the website here is under the citymilwaukee.gov DCD business toolbox bids and NIDs. But if you just type in your Google search engine NIDs Milwaukee or Neighborhood Improvement Districts Milwaukee, this website will come up. And the neighborhood improvement districts are down at the bottom. So if you scroll down, you can look through to see if you happen to be a part of one of those neighborhoods, or if you specifically want to move into one of those neighborhoods. Not all of them may have home repair, but so for example, the Havenwoods NID, which I help facilitate, you click on the map. Can everybody now still see my screen? Can everybody see the map coming up? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So then this will bring up a map. It's still working on coming up, and it shows the boundaries of that particular neighborhood improvement district. So the Harambe NID, you can pull up that map, and then also typically there's a contact information for that NID. So if you find that you're in those boundaries, then you could contact that neighborhood improvement organization, either go to their website to see if they have programs or contact them and they will let you know. Okay, I am going to stop share and I'm going to ask everybody to put their video and their unmute themselves. And I will share a few questions that came up. So this one is for Brenda. Is the home improvement loan the same as a home equity loan?
Yes, you have to have equity in the house.
Okay, and but it's also is the loan though separate though? You don't have to borrow it. You don't have to borrow this against your house. It's just strictly its own loan.
No, the house is used as collateral.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so the CIBC loan, that is slightly similar. So CIBC is a different lender and that is similar. It's a home rehab loan. And if you go to their website, if you look up CIBC, then you can look up, or if you go to Take Root Milwaukee, because they are a Take Root Milwaukee member. So if you go to takerootmilwaukee.com, then you can go to home rehab, or if you go to home purchase and you look at the lender members, CIBC will be in there. Also, Great Midwest Savings Bank is in there if you need to get Brenda's contact information. And then there was one more question, which is with the NIDC is for all areas in Milwaukee. That is correct.
That is not correct. That is not correct.
Thank you, Ben. I'm going to turn that over to Ben to answer that question.
Sure. NIDC, the Neighborhood Improvement Development Corporation, we administer between 12 and 15 different programs. So if you're asking about a specific program, I would highly encourage you to call us on Monday at 414-286-5610. There is one program that is predominantly throughout the full city of Milwaukee, which is a Strong Homes Loan Program, but that is only for emergencies and essential repairs. If you are looking at other programs, those other programs may be limited, kind of similar to the NID and similar to NIP, but it depends on the neighborhood. So if you're not really sure, just give us a call. We'll answer those questions for you. We have Lavietta Thompson that can answer questions. We have Blanca Perez. And if there are questions a little bit more complicated, they will get one of the loan officers involved or one of the rehab specialists involved to further assist you.
And then, Ben, thank you so much. And Lamont, do you want to expound on the home warranty programs question?
Yeah, so I did respond to the caller who wanted to know about home warranties. And basically home warranties are kind of like your car warranties. Yes, there are some good warranties that are out there, but you really need to know the terms. Some of the terms are going to be, there's going to be caps on the amount of services that you may be able to receive from that warranty. You may have to pay a deductible or kind of like a copay to access that. It may be limited in what they would repair. So things that could be covered by insurance, some of those warranties may not cover those things. So we're really not in a position where we can recommend home warranties, but I did add a link about home warranties that gave a lot of the questions that you want to kind of answer and vet out before you get involved in that financial contract. One thing I'll tell you is that, you know, our programs that we talked about today are generally grants. And so you don't have to worry about any additional out-of-pocket costs. And then the other thing that I would add is that, you know, if you had a naturally occurring disaster, that may be a question for your insurance company. If your shingles blew away because of a windstorm, your insurance company may pay for you to have a new roof. If someone drove their vehicle into your fence, that could be covered by insurance. And even though you will be paying a deductible, it may be cheaper in the long run than going out and taking on a home warranty loan. But please review that link that I provided for the person who had the question, and hopefully that answers some of your questions. And if any of my other panelists have any expertise about it, please feel free to chime in.
I do not. Does anybody else have any thoughts on home warranties? Are there any final questions? So we're getting close. It's actually 11:30 now, so I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Any final questions from our participants?
Just, I know we talked a little bit about the home improvement loan and the home equity loan. And Ms. Teresa, one thing that I would add is that, you know, home equity loans generally mean that you have some value that's in your home that's above and beyond what you owe to the bank. And so if you have a willing bank who's going to loan you money against that home equity, there could be an open opportunity for you to apply for other banks other than Great Midwest Bank. One of the things I know with working with Brenda is you're going to have to be low income to qualify for the home equity loan that she provides. But if you're in a situation where you're not low income and you're looking to get a home improvement loan, Great Midwest Bank may not be able to help you. And then you would be looking at a traditional bank for a home equity. So that's a little bit of a difference than, you know, just strictly here's a home improvement loan for you.
And that's to answer Gabby's question, right, Lamont?
Teresa Jones had a question in the Q&A.
Okay. And then there are also any programs that are available to homeowners that do not qualify for any of the programs for major repairs. So
I can talk about that, Jessica.
Great, go for it, Ben, thanks.
Gavi, thank you for the question. In regards to your question, the Strong Homes Loan Program is that loan. Is that loan for an individual that cannot access any other loans? Like banks are telling you, you cannot get a loan through us. You're being denied. Our loan product is a loan of last resource. That means that you've tried everything and now you need to come to the city of Milwaukee to try to help you stay in your home because your emergency is so major. That's what the Strong Homes Loan Program is designed for, to help you with that major emergency to stay in the home. We look at things a little bit differently, and we're very flexible in terms of how our underwriting works. We will work with you in terms of getting explanations, in terms of helping you resolve items. If there's some things that may not be able to work with us, we'll tell you, hey, let's work with housing resources as an example for a little bit before we can get you into the loan. So we're going to work with you and talk to you throughout the process. So do not feel worried about applying to our program. If we know that we can't help you at the moment, we're going to tell you, okay, this is what you should work on right away. Once you get this done, come back to us. So there's different things that we can do to help you. So I hope that answers your question.
Great. So let me just share quickly again. So just remember, everybody, if you are looking or you have a friend or a family member that's looking to either buy a home, keep their home, or fix, again, the foreclosure prevention. So if you know somebody that's maybe at risk of losing their home, there'll be a foreclosure prevention workshop. And do remember, and please let your friends and family and neighbors know, a lot of times signs are put up, like especially at freeway exits and stuff, we will buy your home. I get postcards in the mail from people asking to buy my home. I would highly recommend working, or if you know that somebody's that is in a bind and at risk of losing their home, talk to Take Root Milwaukee. They will put you in contact with people out there like the Metropolitan Milwaukee Fair Housing Council, or if you have to sell your home, work with a realtor that can help you get the correct price for your home, not just somebody that is offering to buy it right away to get you out of that stressful situation, because in the long run, it could really end up shooting you in the foot because you may not get the price that you deserve for that home. And there's also a lot of resources out there that can help you keep your home. So we just want to watch out for that predatory, scammy stuff. Thank you for joining us. Again, here is the Take Root Milwaukee website and phone number, the hotlines you can call, and that will connect you to all of these resources. And with all of those who signed up for this workshop, I will share the PowerPoint with you today, so you have all of that contact information that was on our PowerPoint. And I will share the chat as well, just to have that information that people put in the chat. But thanks, everybody. Any final words from any of our panelists before we close out?
I did put in the chat, but because of the pandemic, there is a lot of relief for mortgages and also for rent that may be lost as a result of COVID. So if you're in a situation where you're in a duplex and maybe the tenant has not been able to pay the rent, there could be assistance through community advocates and SDC. Also, if you are a property owner and you haven't been able to pay your mortgage, you may have some protection with your mortgage lender. But there also could be money available to help pay off your mortgages through our partner Housing Resources Incorporated. That money is leaving really, really fast. And by statutory law, some of that money will expire by the end of the month. So if you're experiencing any kind of mortgage issue, please contact Housing Resources Incorporated. And if you have just rent issues, you want to talk with community advocates, please share that in your network and with your family and friends who may be struggling during this time. Thank you.
Thanks, Lamont. So thank you so much to all of our participants and all of our panelists. And I hope everybody has a fabulous rest of your Saturday. Go outside, enjoy the weather.